Welcome to Bahati, talking about real issues that are affecting you as an individual. Insights about financial and personal growth, plus better relationships. And now, Bahati.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's always an amazing time whenever we have to commune, whenever we have to learn together and grow together. For me, it's the happiest moment is when I am here, but most of all, my happiest moment is when I get to hear from you. So I need to hear from you using the numbers on the screen. You can get to my DM that is on different social media platforms. You can feel as free as possible to make sure that you reach out to me. Do you know actually what made me happy this morning? Someone reached out to me from Dubai, and this is a person who even has, you know, those Muslim kind of dressing, and he was like, you know what, today I've reached out to you. I know so many people reach out to you about business, about mentorship, but today I'm reaching out to you because I have a 5-year-old who is having a birthday, who is celebrating his birthday today, and then he is saying, I am reaching out to you because you are anointed and you pray for people, so I am reaching out to you that you will just record a short prayer for my son. I know that it will touch his heart because he keeps seeing his mom watching your programs, and he just loves you as a person, and so that will really be life-changing. And in my heart I'm like, definitely, because I was like, I'll pay for it if I have to. And in my heart I'm like, say no more, you're not paying for it. I'm making the prayer, I'm sending it out, and I am covering that boy in the blood of Jesus and praying that his future is the greatest than he will ever imagine in the world, that his father and his mother decided that they should be able to offer him into the hands of God with a prayer on a birthday, and that is life-changing. So reaching out to me is not just about working with me and paying me to work with me. Sometimes you need to talk to someone. Someone actually else reached out to me this morning. I was like, I need to get into the mentorship. Now, we usually have those messages that go out about mentorship. So we told her about the price of the mentorship and all that. And she said, you know what, I don't have that money right now, but I am really dying. I really need help. So I got to her myself, and I was like, how can we really help? And she was like, you know what, I am stuck in this marriage. I don't know what to do. I am crying every day. I don't know. And so I told her we need to talk. And after my shoot, I'm going to give you a time we talk. Now, this is not just about transaction. It's not about just the money. For me, it's about you growing to a measure that you have never imagined. For me, it's about me being able to hold your hand, that even when you never reach out to me on phone or in the DM or on social media, but at least you pick these principles and are able to exercise them and execute them. That is what matters for me. And there you will have paid me the greatest amount of money. People in my mentorship know that if you show up and make sure that you do the work. So even when you're not in my mentorship circle, make sure that you show up for yourself, watch these programs, make sure that you thrive, you grow, you flourish, and make sure that you are very, very, very alive and living. Okay, so I want us to start with prayer. We started off already, but I want us to start off with prayer. There is a prayer. This is Trailblazers. This is a prayer, a planner, and a business workbook, okay? All in one. It's amazing. You don't know how good this is. But for those of you that will need it, we'll talk about it in a minute. But today's prayer says, may you have joy. May that joy be your strength, okay? May it give you the energy to be productive and focused. May the joy permeate in your relationships. Bring peace where there has been turmoil and connection where there has been none. May you love and be loved every day of this week and every day of this month and every day of this year. You realize I don't make these prayers for the sake of making prayers. By the time I was writing this journal, I took time, fasted and prayed just to make sure that there is an impartation to everyone and to every soul that actually goes through this. When I saw that, let that joy permeate, when you talk about permeating, is when like the rain falls on the ground and the water permeates the ground and the ground becomes wet, okay? Now that is permeating. When I say that, let that joy permeate your relationships, that it will create a calmness, that it will create a peace that transcends human understanding. When I said that, let that joy be give you the energy to be productive. When we talk about joy, joy, it's an inside thing. So my prayer is that you not only change outside in the appearance, in your personal growth and what people can see, but the deep inside of you, you will change and you will have a joy that no one can rob it. No one can take it away. No one can smash it, okay? That God will install that joy inside of your heart, that you will smile even when you're going through the storm, that you will smile, that even when you go through the shadow of death, you will fear no evil, but you will know that God is with you. Now, that is the joy that I walk with in every situation, okay? Every situation that I go through. And just to talk about this, I will give you an example, and this is just a testimony. Just yesterday, I was at Kosu Hospital, and my daughter was in the theater. You know, when you take your daughter while she's walking, you get her from the private wing, and she's walking, she's putting on her shoes. Yes, you've put, she's in that theater cloth, and you reach the theater, and you literally have to hand her over. And not just handing her over, they told me, dress up, let's go to the theater, because we have to put on the cannula while you are there, so that at least she knows that the mother is there. And, you know, seeing your child and, you know, giving your child anesthesia while you're there, and she drops down on the table and she no longer understands what's happening in this world. And I remember walking out, because after that they told me, you know what, it's enough, walk out of the theater, we will call you after we are done. And so I walk out and I am babbling in prayer, and I am saying, God, I pray that your angels surround the table. I pray that you will give the doctors the wisdom to operate on her the right way. I pray, and while I'm speaking this, actually tears are coming out of my eye, because the prayer was coming from inside, but there was a peace that transcends human understanding. There was a joy that my God fights my battles, that he has never lost, that he has shown up every single time I have needed him. And let me tell you, that was a joy that no one could take away from me, that even when I was in the midst of the turmoil, even when I was in the midst of the battle, even when I was literally claiming her life and standing in prayer, there was peace that surpasses human understanding. And that is what I pray for you, okay? So grab yourself this journal, okay? Grab yourself this journal. It's called the Trailblazers Journal. You are a trailblazer for your family, a trailblazer for your generation, a trailblazer for your church, a trailblazer for your ministry, a trailblazer for your children. Goodness, you are a trailblazer in every sense of trailblazers. And trailblazers face every kind of turmoil in life, but that does not weaken them. That only strengthens them to fight and to make sure that they make it work in their lives. So I am closing out that chapter. Make sure that you get yourself a copy. If you come to the coach experience, which happens every first Friday of the month, we usually sell them at 50,000. Okay. If you come to Media Plaza, you will find it at 50,000. If you go to the bookshops, you'll find them at 70,000. Others sell them 80,000. So make sure that you grab yourself a copy, and let's make sure that we grow together. Okay. Now, today, incidentally, what we're going to talk about is totally different from the chapter where we started the prayer, the testimony, and you know how God is making things work in different lives. Today, I want us to talk about the indisputable laws of entrepreneurship. Now, the indisputable, we're just going to talk about one law, because we can't finish them. And this is all coming from the Trailblazers Journal. I want to give you a feel of this so that you know that there is something that you can do about yourself, about your business, about anything else that you plan to do in the world now, especially to you business people. You really need to get out of your box and make sure that you go an extra mile to thrive and to make sure that you flourish in your business. Okay, but right now let's talk about the law number 1. Okay, and just to introduce some of these laws, because some of you don't know, one of them is the law of business creation, but today we're just going to dwell in the introduction. One thing I have found out in accelerated mentorship, and that is the business club, Hold My Hand Business Club, and Hold My Hand Annual Membership. If you need to work with me, those are 3 areas that I work with most people. One thing that I got to really find out in my search and in my quest, and after years of doing business, is that nobody wants to have a business. Like, we do not start wanting, or we do not desire. You just don't have a desire and say, you know what, I want a business. No, there are so many reasons behind that as to why we actually create businesses. And when we talk about those reasons, I actually listed them here, that most of us just want the benefit of the business. That is what we want. When we think about, we want to make money, okay? And then we want to have a sense of freedom. Because when you talk about business, you're talking about ownership. You're talking about you know, being self-employed at the start. You're talking about ownership. You're talking about building a company. You're talking about employing people. But most of us, the reason as to why we start these businesses is not because we wake up and we're like, oh, I love business, so let me start business. I want us to be very truthful with ourselves and just think back to when you started that business or why you want to start that business in the first place. The reason as to why most of us want to start businesses, and I speak for myself because I have thought about it so many times, the reason as to why I wanted to create businesses in the first place right from 2006, 2007, when I first began my first business. The reason as to why I wanted or I ventured into business, I remember that time actually I had lost my job. Okay, so I had lost my job and I had nowhere to start. I remember they gave me my last salary, and some things happened, things went wrong, and actually, I don't fear to say it, I was actually terminated from the job. So they wrote me a letter and they told me, I don't remember the word they used, but the word was quite weird. So they terminated me from the job. And let me tell you, when I say they terminated me, you will think they terminated me from a job where I was earning like a chameleon or a 500,000. They terminated me from a job where I was earning 70,000, guys, 70,000. So I go back home with my money in my envelope and I give it to my mother. I find her actually in the bed. I give it to my mother because it was my habit to give her my tithe. But again, I'm the firstborn. They must go through a month. 70,000 is not even enough to take them through the month. So I took the whole envelope and gave it to my mother. And I remember that night, that evening, I didn't know, like I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what was happening next. I didn't know where I was going. Remember, I did not have any credential because that was literally, I was in my, I think it should have been first year at campus. But remember, I didn't have money. I was going to campus by faith, you know, showing up in class, but not knowing that I'm not going to do exams. So that was me. So now I go back, I give her the money. She definitely holds my hand and prays for me. And I remember receiving, sleeping off on her bed. And I literally got a vision while I was on a bed, what you will call a dream. And this dream was actually telling me to take, because I was like in a crossroad. For those of you that have been in Mukono, there's the crossroad where a road goes to Jinja and then another goes to Kayunga. There is Kampala and then there is Nabuti junction. Now, I was literally in that junction in my dream. And then the voice was telling me, you know what, take Kayunga route, take Kayunga road. And I remember, like, I didn't understand it because when I woke up, I told my mother, I was like, okay, I had this weird dream and I was at the crossroad in this junction in Mukono and the voice was telling me, take Kayunga route. And let me tell you, after, I think it was months after that, no, a month after that, Tim comes to me and tells me, you know what, I think there's a virgin ground in Kayunga. Literally, I did not even share my dream with him. So he comes to me and tells me, I think there's a virgin ground in Kayunga. We are both out of jobs. Let's go to Kayunga and work in the village. And so this young, beautiful girl lives Kampala, you know, lives Kampala. And that time we're actually being accommodated. There is a certain Muzungu that was really kind-hearted. And he just gave us his boys' quarters. So that is where my family was, because we had been sent away from home and my family was broken. And like literally everything around me was in turmoil and was in shambles. So we decide to go to Kayunga. But remember, the reason as to why we have gone is we are out of jobs and now we don't have the money. So the reason is, you know, we want to start a business. No, the reason is we want to make money. Okay, we want to earn, because we've been earning in employment and now we are out of jobs. Now we need to create something from which we can actually earn. So if you ask me, we didn't start the first business because we were thinking, oh, business is dope and it's so nice and we want to start a business. No, we really wanted to establish a way of earning money so we can be able to to earn money. So you realize that we love the benefits of business. We want the freedom, we want the finances, and we want the fun, okay? We want to control our schedules. Like, I can go away anytime, I can close anytime, I can do anything that I want. We want to control the world around us, and we want to make big impact. So you realize that we have so many reasons as to why we begin business. So we do not sign up for business because of business. We sign up for business because of so many other things, okay? And then, so we want to accomplish our desires by beginning the businesses. So it's so important to understand why we choose those businesses, because at the end of the day, we are not programmed as human beings to want or to be business owners. We are mostly programmed in our education to be employees, okay? You are taught something to go and be able to work somewhere and earn money. We are not programmed from childhood to go out and start businesses. That is why so many people will be at the verge. Someone can even have the capital and fail to start a business. Someone can have all the knowledge that they need and they will still fail to start a business. But it's so easy for us to take our credentials or to even go and ask for a job, and then they will tell you this is what you're going to do, and then they will give you a schedule, and then they will orient you in that job, and you will show up every day of your life working. Why? Because that is why we have gone to school. For those of you that were in one of the coach experiences, I think I broke it down so well. If you missed it, I will make sure that I post it again or I spread it again. But I broke down the eras from the agricultural era to the industrial era, and the reason as to why people were working, because the agricultural era, people were producing a lot of product, and whoever had land was actually the boss, was the biggest person. You know, the wealth was in the hands of those that had land. Now, after agriculture, we came to the industrial. Now, in the industrial, whoever had machines, because remember, the ones in the agricultural era, people were producing a lot of products, and now they didn't have way of processing them. So now the people that make machines now are the ones that are wealthy. Well, land is no longer really wealth, because now the ones that had land were also looking up to the ones that had the machines. Now, after the machines era, the industrial area, comes the outline and the distribution era, because the people with machines had made so many products, they had processed so many products, packed so many products, and now they didn't have a way of selling them because they were seated with their merchandise. Now they had to create outlets and distributions. That is how we come by the shops and the malls and the grocery shops and what. So everyone was distributing. That is why we come with what is it? Network marketing. That is the era, and so many people ventured into it. Now, from that era, we come into the information era, the technology era, and after technology era, we are in the information era right now. It is coupled with technology. But in the middle there, during the machine, the machine era or the industrial era, you realize that so many people were seeking permission, because the people that had machines were the bosses. They were seeking permission. And then number two, most of them were telling people, and the campaign during that era was, take your child back to school, let them, you know, get an education, let them get a degree, let them come and become a manager. Because now it was away from the agricultural era. Anyone, even without education, could do it. But right now in the industrial era, that means we needed managers, we needed supervisors, we needed line managers, we needed CEOs, COOs. So that means people had to go back to school. Now the campaign was massive, where people were saying, take your child to school, let them get an education, let them get a degree, let them come back and be a manager and all sorts. Now you realize that in this age and era, that has changed. That people come from zero. People come from backgrounds where they didn't even go to school, and they earn more money. Let me tell you, a TikToker in this age and era will earn more money than any CEO or any founder of an organization. So you realize that there has been a shift in the earning, there has been a shift in wealth, there has been a shift that anyone can be a business owner right now. You do not have to have permission from anyone to own a business, okay? So we don't own a business because we want to own a business. I'm going back to my point. We own a business because of the benefits that the business gives us. But remember, we are not not wired and created and programmed in our education system to be, and even in our bringing, to be business owners. We are wired to be employees. That is where we need to have a mindset shift, because even when you learn all the strategies, even when you have all the systems in the world when it comes to business, systems and strategies are not enough if you do not have the mindset. And let me tell you, systems and strategies are not going to make up for the lack of the mindset. So that means if you have the mindset and can acquire the mindset, you can actually create the systems and the strategies that you need in order to run the business. And if you really understand me, I need you to be able to drop a message and share this message with people that you know it's going to be very helpful too. So in this era, it's not just enough to have a product, because everyone can literally create a product. A product no longer has to be soap. It no longer has to be a book. It's no longer, as in, a products have been made versatile right now, that you can have online products. For example, I have courses where you can just come and buy a confidence course and go. I'm not attached to you. Bought your course. It has 12 modules. You go through it, you get your confidence and go on with life. It's not enough to be a speaker, because right now speaking is business, okay? Coaching is business, and that is why I train people in that area. But apart from that, we have business, for example, broadcasting. I am in the broadcasting business as well. When you look at all sorts of businesses that you have seen, people are manufacturing things. They are doing so many things, okay? But you realize that the people that go to the top in business are few. While the funnel is quite huge, the people that are coming into business are very many, but the people that are staying in business or flourishing or thriving in business are so, I mean, there are very few. You can even count them by the hand. Why is that so? And yet this is an era where anyone can start up something, where anyone can become anything, where we don't need to have permission to be anything. That means there is a mindset shift that must be happening. There are things that we must be able to know that can be able to establish us, and that is where this Trailblazers journal comes in, that it will be able to bridge a gap, that you will understand as in things that you cannot argue with. They are concrete, they are cemented, and I have studied this for the past 20 years that I've been in business, that this works and this has helped so many people. A mindset shift can make up for everything else. But you having systems and strategies, it can never make up for the mindset shift that you actually need, okay? Because there are so many components that run a business. So many components, okay? So many formulas that run a business. But again, if you cannot be able to have the mindset, okay, that shows you that, you know what, I don't need permission. I think I need to be to have a mindset of a creator. And we're going to see what a mindset of a creator says. I need to be able to avoid the shortcuts, that whatever is climbing so fast and whatever is shining bright, that is not it, that it takes work, it takes process, it takes investment, it takes, you know, resilience to bounce back each and every time that there is loss in business, that means I need to develop the grit, I need to grow, I need to surround myself with beautiful and strong partnerships in order for me to win in business. I need to go alone sometimes. Entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. It's not a journey where you jump onto the bandwagon. Other people have jumped onto the bandwagons and it has not worked. And I remember today, we will actually talk about it when we come out of the break, but I remember today I was asking some people that if I gave you a key, what would you do with that key? Because all of us have a key inside of us that unlocks us, okay? We have a key, we have a gift, we have a calling. And these days, business is not a matter of creating a product somewhere that is totally detached from you. You can actually be the product yourself. You can be the brand yourself. You can be the business yourself. You can be the, you know, the merchandise, the wheels on which your business actually is driving. So that means business has totally shifted and business has changed. And if we cannot shift with that, if we cannot change with that, and if we cannot come to terms with that, then we are going to fail at business and we are going to go back in employment, and employment is not bad. Employment is a transitional era. Okay, we are all. I mean, I've been employed for so long, and until I decided that is not something that I wanted anymore. So it was a transition for me, and so many people kept asking me, but why did you even agree to it? Actually, the people that I used to work with, after they got to know the kind of things I do, they were like, so why were you wasting time in employment? And I told them I did not waste any single minute in employment. I literally needed to learn. I needed to be compounded. I needed to know how things are built. And the reason as to why I accepted employment in the first place is because it built my grit. I showed up every day. I remember I had to drive out of my home every day at 5 a.m. to make sure that I am on the morning show. And that built something, tenacity in me. And I'm so thankful of my years of employment. Why? Because they built capacity inside of me, that when I am in my era of being an employer, when I'm in my era of, you know, building bold brands and doing the things that I am doing right now, I pick a lot of lessons from my employment era, and I am so thankful that I said yes to it, even when it was transitional for me to get into the employing era. Okay, so I need you to be with me on this journey. Share this as much as you can. Get yourself a cup of coffee, come back, let's have this chat.
Spirit TV, a place for you.
Did you know that you can acquire a skill in less than 3 months? Dynamic Media School skills you in TV and radio presenting, motion graphics, graphics designing, control room management, show production, audio production, confidence building, lighting and videography, personal branding, social media management, cinematography, video editing, marketing and sales, and effective communication. This is designed to provide practical skills and hands-on experience with the focus on developing critical thinking, research, and communication skills. You will have access to high-quality learning materials, including online lectures and other resources, as well as a dedicated team of facilitators and influencers who are available to assist you with any questions or concerns that you might have. Enroll today. Call 0702 021 834 or WhatsApp 0760 881 331. Dynamic Media School is an excellent choice for anyone looking to start or advance their career in this exciting and dynamic field. You don't get the life that you deserve, but that which you decide. It's time for you to decide to dominate your life. You don't do that by just having passion, you need a plan. Let's show you how you grow practically in character, competence, and in other areas of life. Welcome back to Bahati.
Welcome once again, and for those of you that are just joining, we started off with a prayer, a very huge prayer, but I remember it was talking about the joy, and that is what I pray over you. The joy that no one can take away from you, that even when you're going through the roughest patch of your life, it will give you the strength, and it will permeate through your relationships, and that you will love and be loved every single day and every week and every month of this year. That is my prayer for you. And I hope that you can claim it. I hope that you can walk in it, and I hope that you can, you can recite it every now and then. That let the joy of the Lord be your strength. Okay, so we are talking about business. And we are talking about the Trailblazers Journal. It's a prayer. It's a daily prayer. Daily prayer. It's a planner, a daily planner as well, and a business workbook. You can get yourself a copy at 50,000. I've put them on a discount. And then for those of you, I mean, if you can watch this volume, it's not an ordinary volume. So you can grab this. Elsewhere, you'll get it at 70, 80,000. But at Media Plaza, I'm giving it to you at Media Plaza 3rd floor. I'm giving it to you at 50,000, and those of you that will come to the coach experience, you will get it at 50,000 as well. For those of you that sign up for the business mastermind, you actually get it as part of the package. Yeah, the business mastermind. And those of you that sign up for accelerated mentorship, mentorship, the full package, you get it as part of the package. For those of you that hold my hand annual membership and then Trailblazers, you don't get it as part of the package, but you get it at a discounted price. Thank you very much. Okay, so we were still talking about a business, and I think I left off at a place where I say that I accepted employment as a way of transition for me, and I know so many of us are going in those. When we pray and say, I usually mean it. When I say that, you know what, I pray that God will take you to heights that you have never imagined. Now, when we talk about heights that you have never imagined, this literally means that we have imagined some things according to our background, according to where we were born, according to how much money we think we deserve, according as in we also have a measure where we think past this, no, I really can't think much about that. But let me tell you, I have seen God surprise me. I have seen God surprise me. According to how I've talked about my past and everything I have been through, I would never have deserved to be where I am right now. Maybe I would have placed a cap on myself. I would have placed a ceiling on myself. And I would have placed a ceiling on myself in literally everything that I did. I would have placed my ceiling at myself, on myself according to the education level that I could achieve, because literally I had failed at education. I would have said, that is it, I am never going back, you know, I don't have money, I will concentrate on other things. Ndaba nabatasoma babao. Yes, abatasoma babao. But I had a yearning inside of me. So if I say that I managed to actually go for a bachelor's, ngandi mukulu, I managed to go for a bachelor's, from a bachelor's, I've gone for a master's, from a master's, I've gone up to, you know, a doctorate. That is something that I had never imagined, because I don't think there's anyone in my family that I have seen go to that great heights. So that was my faith in God to take me to places that are unimaginable. I would have placed a ceiling on myself when it comes to the kind of man I get married to. I would have placed a ceiling on myself when it came to, because maybe I would have accepted people in the seasons of my life where there was a lot of luck, and maybe someone came around and they have a bit of a kamani, but I knew that they were not my destiny partners, so I would have settled for just that, because then I want daily food. I knew that daily food was not my thing. I knew there was something more to my life than just eating. And let me tell you, you would know, I would go hungry for a full week, but not accept anyone's money. Not because they were there, they were offering it. They wanted to give me the pleasures of the world, but I knew there was something more to my life. I was like, God, no, there's something big in my life. I don't think I want to just give it away by just going with anyone. So I could have placed a ceiling on myself. Up to now, there's a picture that my sister washed. There's some guy that now, I'm sharing this so that we can pick lessons. There's some man that wanted me some time back. Of course, when he came to me, and after some time, you know, professing what he felt, I told him, I have never seen it, I have never felt it, and I am taken. Of course, he was very angry because, you know, he was a church leader and stuff like that. And years have gone by, more than 20 years, I think, after. And we see him in a picture. And my sister was like, Hilda, if you had accepted. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, accepting him at that level of my life meant I would have killed my whole destiny. You would never have seen me. You would never have had the name Bahati. You would never, I don't think God would have used me at the magnitude that he is using me, but I took time to grow. I took time to nurture what God has placed inside of me. I took time to go through all the bad periods of my life, but not saying yes, that the temporary situation did not just give me permission to say yes to wrong things so that I can run out of a temporary situation. Okay, so, and I mean it, that there is no cap. Do not limit yourself, and do not limit God at any point. Okay, so I need you to be able to move with me. And something else I wanted us to know about when we go back to business and the indisputable laws of entrepreneurship. And we say that we don't start off wanting business, no, because we don't want the baggage that comes with the business. Business is work. Business is hard work. That is why I have the business mastermind, where we talk about raw business. How do you hire? How do you market? market? How do you, how do you grow your business? How do you develop the grit? How do you go on when things are bad? And we get to share from different people, not just me, but from different people that are operating businesses that have made it, and so that we can all come up. I'm still also in the learning curve. I learn a lot from the people in the mastermind. Okay, so you realize that there is no one way fits all, and that is where I wanted us to get. In business, there is no one way fits all. Okay, I want us to know that business is a changing process, and that demands that you also shift and change. Okay, because processes change, and consumerism manners change, or the mannerisms change over time. Okay, and in as much as you can know your target audience, but you know that today you can lock in your target audience and you realize that your target audience has changed in the way they consume. Remember, we are in an influencer era where influencers are influencing us on the decisions that we are making, what we are buying in our homes, the kind of foods that we eat in our homes, the kind of places we shop, so you realize that there are forces of work that are also working externally while you're working internally to build a business, to start a business, to have formulas, to have strategies, to have systems, okay, and to be able to shift your mindset all the time. So you realize that, yes, there is no rules, that this particular rule, this is how it's supposed to be, and this is how it's supposed to be, and this is how it's supposed to be. That means you must be able to be flexible as a business person to know that customers are going to change. Seasons are going to change. The monies and inflation and all those things biasing people's consuming habits are going to change. So while they change, what can you do in order to appear strong in every shift and every season and every era? Because things are going to change. Okay, that is where your mindset has to be developed and your strategies have to be developed. That means you need also to be open-minded to the wave that is working in the world. That means you must be informed. Remember, it's a both technology and information era. And so if you cannot change, and one thing I think it's what's that? Is it Forbes that released a research some time back? And this research, because when it comes to niches, I don't know if you're in the world of business and you don't know niches, I don't know exactly what we are talking about, but when it comes to niches, the niches have changed right now. That is where I told you that we are in a changing world, in the changing seasons. Processes are changing, business dynamics are changing. So this is what they said, because according to niches, we all thought in the past years that relationships are topping the list, and then we have, we have other things, but we have business somewhere, we have personal financial management somewhere, and so we knew that we had these like 5 things that were trending and topping the charts according to the social media economy and the era that we are in, the information era that we are in right now. Only for Forbes to bring out a report, I think it should have been like 2 months back, and it says that sales and marketing right now it's topping the list. So whoever is in the niche of selling and marketing, and everyone is a product these days. So you realize that people are looking for ways how to get more eyeballs, how to get more visibility, how to get more people to buy their products, and not just convince them. Because if you convince people, it's like you are convincing them of something you are not so sure of. They also feel like you are imposing on them. When you sell and sound so salesy, I'm selling this, come and buy, and I'm selling this, come and buy. You realize that people's mindsets are so tired that they just want you to be very sneaky. That is why we have influence marketing. That is why we have network marketing. That is why we have affiliate marketing. That is why we have content marketing. That is why we have the whole digital component of marketing, so that they can be able not to just wait for people on billboards, because now that is traditional. Yes, it's still working, but again, people are more on their phones. That is why YouTube will charge you, will pay people to watch so that they can get more visibility. That is why we will have all the campaigns running on Facebook, on Instagram. Why? Because people are on their phones. So like, okay, if we can't get them on billboards and on TVs and on radios and newspapers, and we can't get them, let me say, on TV, so where are we going to get them? We are going to get them on their hands. But remember, people are stressed these days. They don't want you to come and just, you know, just bring your merchandise and say, this is Colgate, please buy Colgate. No, they will give it to an influencer. An influencer will stay in a nice house and they will go shop in a nice place and they will have a nice car. Why? Because they know that that is what people want. They want to drive nice cars. They want to stay in nice houses. So they know that is what we admire. So what they do is they pay the influencer to get that toothpaste and just go in front of a mirror in their bathroom and have a toothbrush that is so nice, you know, and a chargeable, an electric toothbrush, and maybe put on that toothpaste while you are seeing its brand. And let me tell you, next time you go to the supermarket, that is the brand that you'll want to buy. So now they have gotten to your head, not because of telling you go and buy this product, but a hair influencer will come and make her hair while she's telling you a story and place that whatever it is, the can of that oil, and you will read it, like it or not, and it will influence you. And they will tell you how their hair has grown, how it looks so healthy and nice, and clearly you see it. And then after that, you go to the supermarket, or you go to a shopping mall, or you go to a grocery store, and that is exactly what you are picking. From saucepans to, so name it. You realize that the kind we market things has changed. So if you do not have an open mind and you're the kind that says what was is what is and is what will be forevermore, it's not helping. I remember I had a session with Mikolo magazine last time. It was Beyond Success and Mikolo magazine business forum, and we had so many business people from Kampala gather, and one of the things that I talked about was attitude and open-mindedness, and just knowing that in this age and era there are things that have changed. And I remember one day one lady actually attested to it, and she was like, you know what, I have been one of the most booming person when it comes to decor, both in East Africa and outside of East Africa. But something that was very, very crucial, that her daughter, you know, the kind of, you know, .com kind of daughter, you know, just opened an Instagram page, a Facebook page, and started posting her mother's work on those pages. And the lady said that her work has more than tripled. Okay, the kind of money that she gets has more than tripled. And she was like, social media works. And all these people, because most business owners, like it or not, some of them that have stayed, that have been tested by that time, are really older. So most of them will look and they're like, now how do we do that? Because even when we try social media, we are not consistent. Even when we show up, we don't know how to dance like most people are dancing. We don't know how. There are so many other different ways that you can. There is no one way fits all. There is no one formula fits all. So I need you to be able to understand that when it comes to business, things keep changing. The rules of engagement keeps changing. The rules of the games keep changing. What was, is, and will be is not going to apply. Things are going to keep changing, okay? That means you have to have the resilience, and you have to have the tenacity and the grit to know that even when I am firm in business, there are certain things that are moving heads that I must be able to be observant. I must be able to diligently look out, and I must be able to delegate certain things that I don't know. If social media is not your cup of tea, delegate it. If you have an IT department, make sure that you strengthen it. Make sure that you place demands on them. Make sure that they show up every day, okay? So you don't have to literally do everything. If you have the power to delegate, make sure that you delegate to the right people. Let them do the things that they really, really have to do, okay? So flexibility is one of those things that I really wanted us to get, okay? And so many of us, people are giving us rules of business, rules of business. Even these, the indisputable laws, you realize rules can be debatable, but laws are not debatable. So what I placed in the journal are the laws, okay? When it comes to the laws of creation, business creation, when it comes to the laws of certainty and uncertainty, these are things that are happening up and down. I cannot finish everything that is in here, but I really, really, really want us to open our minds to know that business has changed, okay? To know that customer consuming habits have changed. To know that even the way we show up in the world has changed. Even social media has changed. Not only business, but even social media has changed. The social media that we are talking about has also, the algorithms are reading so many different things, and so they are showing different people, and they're able to promote different things. The way we do ads on social media has also changed. So I need you to be be able to step up. I need you to be able to consult where you need consultation. I need you to be able to get into communities where things are being discussed and spaces are being discussed. As a business owner, you cannot grow in isolation. You cannot grow in isolation and say, you know what, for me, I know people that used to grow in isolation were the corner shops. I don't know whether you understand the corner shops. I've talked about my story so many times, but I remember the Senga's shop that I usually talk about in my talk. You know that Kasenga's shop where I used to go to borrow maize flour and peanuts. Now those corner shops were thriving in isolation. Why? Because all she needed was to go buy a sack of beans and put it in her shop. All she needed was to make sure she knows what people buy in her community. She would go buy that and stay in her shop, mind her business, take her water, and people would come and buy. But you remember, the profit margins will be very cartoon. Right now, we don't want cartoon profit margins. We want to be able to maximize our margins, okay? But again, we don't want to maximize our margins at the cost of the people that we are selling to. The people that we are selling these services and products to must be able to be happy, must thrive, they must get value for their money, but again, we must also get money for the value that we are giving, and we must be able to maximize the kind of profit that we are making. So that means if you're in isolation, there are certain things that you will not know. Just imagine you're a fashion business person or a boutique business person, and all you want, you know what, me, I just opened my shop, so I will decide and just go buy things that look good for me, and then I will put them in my shop. Who are you going to sell to? Because you're not selling for yourself. You don't buy things that are good for yourself. You buy things that are good for the people that are going to give you the money. So understand, read the trends, read the signs, okay? And know that, okay, this now is off fashion. This now is in fashion. Where is my shop? Where is it located? If I have an online business, who am I targeting really, okay? What is my niche? What is my passion? Let that passion, because I talked about the key when I asked the people in my mentorship, so if I gave you a key, what would you, what would you do? Definitely most of them would telling me, I would ask you what doors it opens. I would ask you, and indeed they're right, because if you have the key, you actually go and when someone gives you a key, you ask the person that has given you the key, okay, which doors the key opens, what type of key, and then it can be two-way. One person can decide and say, I'm going to analyze this key and understand what kind of key it is and which doors it opens. But you realize that the key is your niche. The key is your calling. It's your gift. It's what God put inside of you. It's what some of you just love videography. Some of you just love coaching. Some of you just love public speaking. Some of you, as in, what do you love? What are you passionate about? Chances are that is your calling. Now, your calling is the key that is going to open success, that is going to open the happiness, that is going to open, everything else that you need in life, the benefits that we talked about. All those benefits the benefits of business are going to be opened by the key, which is your passion and your calling and your purpose and your destiny. Okay? So that means we must be able to ask God, the one that gave us this key, that where does this key open? I know it's not a smooth journey, but I show up every day. I am consistent. I am working hard at it. I am investing in myself. And so okay, now I've been doing this the wrong way. That means I must be able to do it the right way. So you realize that business ownership, okay, is not a journey for the feeble, is not a journey for the faint-hearted. No, it is actually a journey for the strong-hearted. It's a journey for people that stick in the game when things become ugly and things become hard. It's the people that are willing to ask for, I'm at the crossroad, which way must I take? And sometimes we ask from God. And I want to end this this whole topic and this whole chat by saying, you ask from God, the one that bestowed, that put that key, that gave you the key, the gifting and the calling and the passion inside of you, and ask him. Prayer is a foundation upon which everything thrives, upon which everything thrives. So if you're going to build your business on just your know-how, if you're going to build your business on just your mindset, if you're going to build your business, even the Bible says that let's renew our mindset. Let's not be conformed, okay? But if it says renew, that means that we should live in a continuous renewal. That means the world is shifting all the time. That means we must be vigilant all the time. But how are we going to be vigilant if we are just feeding off social media without knowing the clarity of what is right and what is not right? And we cannot be in a community where we are nurtured, where we get to know what's happening, where we can pray together, where we can believe God together. So if God gave you this gift, I need you to be able to pray that God, you have given me this gift. You have given me this business. I need this business to thrive. Give me the wisdom. Give me the knowledge. Okay? I do not want it to perish. If it is a blessing and your business is a blessing, it should be able to bless up to the 4th generation. It should not be a business that is standing today and tomorrow it is dead. Okay? I need you to be able to pray and ask him, which doors does this key open? Which doors does this gift open, so that I can be able to put it into use, so that I can go out there and make sure that I really, really, really utilize it. One thing I love about humanity, we have the power to progress, to grow, to be successful and significant at any age. It is never too late. You can start at 50, you can start at 70, you can start at 80. And let me tell you, these days, 80 is the new 40. 50 is the new 20. You realize that you see 50-year-olds and Tolina Chovagamba, like they are young, they are good looking, they are hot, and they are good to go. Now, if you're the kind who is in your 30s and you're like, Mama, you know, I'm growing old. You're not growing old. It is your thoughts that are lying to you. And let me tell you, the moment you agree with your thoughts, we are going to start seeing wrinkles. The moment you refuse in your mind and say, I'm still young, energetic, and are like Joshua that said, God, give me my mountain. Even at 80, I feel as sharp and as energetic as I was in my 40s. And you're asking God, give me my mountain. You can still claim it and say, God, this business is still doable at 50. That this business is still redeemable at 60. You can still do a lot of things. Create an example that you give your children. And let me tell you, when you talk about inheritance, it's not just the money. Inheritance can be a mindset. Inheritance can be the words that you live with them. Inheritance can be the lifestyle that you have lived, that they will look at that and say, no, if my grandfather could make it this far, if my father could make it this far, then I still have a fighting chance. Let me tell you, there is a certain generation that God is going to save, that God is going to help, not because they have worked hard for it, but because they have seen the former generation doing the right things and they're following right behind you in. That is why I get so disappointed when someone misses a step or when someone meanders. Why? Because the whole generation that is behind you, looking up to you, moving diligently in your footsteps, is going to meander because you meandered. So if you are holding a torch for your family, for your life, for the people around you, for the community around you, hold that torch and diligently move in the right direction. Do not let people down. Do not let them meander because you scattered, okay? Hold firm, develop your grit, develop your consistency, show up every day, even when things are hard. And let me tell you, you are going to make it in a bigger way than you have ever thought, okay? So I need you to be able to read, so many pages of this when it comes to the laws, but I will make sure that I give you tips, one tip after another, so that we can get them. But I need you to be able to read the full of it, and I need you to be able to get into you scheduling your day. One of the things, this is the daily prayer right here, and then this is the daily scheduling, where you have your daily schedule, you have your top things to do, and then you have your calls and connection, and then you have your reflections and lessons. And one of the things that I wrote here, I say that to become unstoppable, or you become unstoppable when you are lively, energetic, strong, steady, invigorated, revitalized, recharged, dynamic. All these things are things that we must check in our lives and say, am I alive? Am I lively? Am I energetic? If you're the kind that wakes up every day and you just want the day to end in 1 hour, there is something wrong. So I need you to be able to step up to the plate, and I need you to be able to show up for yourself, and not only for yourself, but for the people around you, for the people you love, and for the people that God has blessed you with. Okay, I love you, and from me to you is bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Bahati comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 p.m. here on Spirit TV. Bahati, bringing you knowledge, wisdom, financial and personal growth, better relationships leading to your transformation and elevation.